Welcome to Biff's Mystery Theater. I have many tales to tell you. Ghost stories, murder stories, and tales that will make your bones chill. Join me, won't you? For Theater of the Mind, where you always have the best seat in the house. Now close your eyes and turn off the lights.
Night Beat.
Lucky Stone is the name. I'm the guy that writes that column that's buried somewhere in the middle of your Examiner, called Night Beat. They call me Lucky for the same reason they call a fat man Slim. Because the best you can hope for on a job like this is chronic bronchitis, rings under your eyes, and the fact that you're awake when regular folk are asleep. Sometimes the worst happens to you. A story grabs your heart and shakes it until it hollers uncle. A corpse in the dark alley is the business at hand. In the big city, a dead man is a pretty impersonal thing. But this one I had a special interest in, because they wanted me to identify it.
Night Beat stars Frank Lovejoy as Lucky Stone.
It was early morning when I walked into the county morgue. There was that same familiar ammonia smell stinging my nostrils, that gleaming tile, that cold, empty feeling you get. The way the morgue always swipes across your face like the tail end of a nightmare. The police lieutenant was waiting for me. He nodded for the attendant to pull back the white sheet. Well, yes, that's him. That's Ted Carter.
Okay, that does it. We had to get positive identification. You were the only one we could reach. Sorry I had to get you out of bed.
Oh, that's all right.
Guess that winds it up. Be seeing you. Thanks for the trouble.
Oh, wait a minute.
Huh?
What do you mean, be seeing you and thanks? What happens now? We go back and catch up on our sleep?
I know you had a friendly interest in the kid, Lucky, but he got it the way all hoodlums eventually get it.
He was going straight and you know it.
You're getting sore about it.
Who did it? Who killed him?
Lucky, go into any book joint, any gin mill, look in any back alley, any flop house. Whoever you find there could have done it. Take your pick.
Take my pick?
Nobody talks. Nobody remembers anything. In my book, it's murder by person to persons unknown.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Maybe for you it's that way, but not for me, Lieutenant. I've known that guy since we were kids. I was lucky and he wasn't. I talked him into going straight and now he's dead for it.
It's crazy to think that way, Lucky.
Okay, it's crazy. Somebody didn't like the idea of his going straight. And if I don't find out who it is, I'm going to start having some lousy dreams, Lieutenant. And I'm a guy that likes to sleep sound. I walked away from the lieutenant like he had the smallpox and I'd never been vaccinated. When I hit the street, it was raining. The sky was gray and there was a cold chill in the air. I waited for a cab thinking that for the first time I hated this city. I hated it because somewhere in that rain was Ted's killer. What was he doing now? Sleeping? Having his morning coffee? Waiting for the first editions to come out and see how well he'd done? He'd have to look hard to find anything about Ted. Page 6, ex-hoodlum found shot, period. When you're an ex-anything, that's a nice way of saying you're dead, brother, lie down. When a cab showed up, I went over to see Ted's girl, Joan. As soon as she opened the door, I knew she'd found out. Her face looked pinched and pale, and her eyes were red like she'd squeezed out the last tear.
Lucky, why did it have to happen like that?
I'm sorry, Joan. You didn't go down to...
No. No, I couldn't.
I understand. Who do you think did it?
I don't know. He told me he was all through with the rackets.
Well, what was he doing? Who'd he been mixed up with?
He never told me anything. I never asked him. I believed him when he told me he was going straight.
I'm going to find out who killed him, Joan.
Look, Lucky, you and Ted lived in different worlds. He wouldn't want you to get hurt because of him. This is for the police, Lucky.
I'm sorry, the police aren't interested.
Then why should you...
Because he followed my advice, and now he's dead. Now, who was the last guy he worked for, Joan? Who got sore when Ted decided to go straight?
I don't know, Lucky. I don't know.
Joan didn't know. I went around to the old haunts, his former friends. They didn't know. The district attorney didn't know. The cops didn't know. Ted had kicked around in this city among all these people for 28 years. And now, suddenly, it was like he'd never lived at all. Then I remembered a little item from his old life. A little item with baby blue eyes and red hair. Laverne Clare. He'd gone with her before he met Joan, and even after he'd met Joan. I know he'd kept sneaking back to Laverne like a drunk trying to decide whether to spend his last coin calling Alcoholics Anonymous or buying a glass of Muscatel. I went looking for Laverne. She had the number 4 spot in one of those 5 times a day shows on the untidy side of town. When I got there, I had to wait until the fleshy part of the entertainment was over, and then I went to her dressing room. Now, Ted spent a lot of time telling me how crazy he was about you, Laverne.
Yeah? He was a sweet guy. Ted was all right.
He liked to tell me about the way you looked when you danced.
Yeah, sure. Where's my drink? That bottle there. Pour me, will you?
Oh, sure. Say when.
I'll be one.
Here you are.
Thanks.
Who do you think killed him, Laverne?
Look, Mr. Stone, you're a nice guy. So why don't you go back to your office and write your column about pretty things, Mr. Stone. Nice, harmless things. You don't want to get mixed up with Bailey or with that guy, Jerry.
Bailey?
I didn't say Bailey.
Oh, so it's Bailey. The character that parlays pinballs into diamond stick pins. Number rackets, Bailey. So Ted knew something and he...
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say anything. Get out of here. Right away. You understand?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm beginning to understand. So I had myself a lead. George Bailey. Only it was like going fishing with the hope that you'll be lucky enough to catch a trout, and all of a sudden, look who's eating your worm. Moby Dick, the whale. Before I told anyone else, I thought I'd go back and see Joan. I think I know who killed him, Joan.
You do?
I'm not positive, but it's a beginning.
Who?
George Bailey. Know him?
Bailey. Who told you it was Bailey?
You're getting pale, Joan, so you think it was Bailey, too.
Listen, Lucky, stay away from Bailey. He's trouble.
Yeah? I'll let you know exactly how much trouble. I'll see you later.
Lucky. It's dangerous. Please be careful.
The lieutenant told me anyone could have killed Ted. He invited me to take my pick. I'm going over and see that cop. I've taken my pick. George Bailey.
Lucky you surprised me. You really expect me to arrest George Bailey? On what charge?
He's mixed up with Ted's killing. You know it and I know it.
Outside of this Laverne girl, I got nothing to go on. You have one shred of evidence pointing to Bailey?
Arrest him on suspicion. Sweat it out of him.
Now, wouldn't I look fine against Bailey's high-powered shyster lawyers, trying to make an arrest stick because some drunken dame shot her mouth off? Even then, she'd deny it if I put her up on the witness stand.
So you don't want to touch Bailey?
Look, get me one witness who saw them together. Find me one scrap of evidence, even circumstantial evidence. I'll arrest Bailey in a minute. You won't find anything. I know. I've tried. All you'll find is frightened people and blank walls. Bailey's had this town by the throat for 10 years. No, I'm sorry, Lucky. I can't help you.
But I couldn't stop. I was like a snowball somebody started rolling down a hill. I didn't know where I was going or what would happen when I got there, but I had to keep rolling. They've got a name for that. It's called a guilt complex, and I had it in Technicolor. Ted was dead because he'd believed in me. I couldn't forget that any more than I could forget my name. Then I remembered my column. Sure, why not? The little poems to the first robin, the jokes about the smog, the stories of the happy winos that have to move over. I was going to work on Bailey in the only way I knew, and keep my fingers crossed that something would happen. What big shot racketeer sends for his aspirin every time someone mentions the back alley murder of Ted Carter? When is the district attorney going to get wise and change the address of Mr. B from a downtown penthouse to an upstate death house?
Listen to this, boss. Huh? Stone's latest little offering. When are the police going to bring in the Carter killer?
Let me see it. If they don't know who it is, I'll give them a hint. Think of Daly and reach for the letter B.
How long's he going to get away with that?
Hand me the phone.
Sure.
Hello?
I want Lucky Stone.
You got him.
I'll say it only once, Mr. Stone. I don't like this kind of publicity.
Oh, you must be Bailey.
I'm asking you to lay off.
Real polite like, huh?
That's right. Real polite. Now, so what's the good word, Mr. Stone?
The good word? I got a whole sack full. You get a copy of the Examiner first thing tomorrow, and you'll see him right under my bylaw.
Now, listen,
It'll
Stone.
be something like this. One of the local gendarmes going to knock on Mr. Bailey's door with a warrant for his arrest. Okay, he doesn't want a preview, so let him pay 7 cents. Well, that was more like it. So Bailey was beginning to squirm. Well, on him it looked just fine. I worked late on the column that night, giving Bailey enough needles to sew a circus tent. I was feeling pretty good. That guilt complex about Ted Carter wasn't hurting quite so much. I unlocked my door and stepped inside. I didn't have to shut the door. It was shut for me.
I've been waiting for you, Mr. Stone.
Well, as long as you're here, make yourself at home.
You're a wisecracker, ain't you? Like your friend, Ted Carter.
What do you know about Ted Carter?
Oh, he was a regular card.
Okay, what do you want?
My boss sent me over to take a look at you.
Your boss?
Mr. Bailey.
And you're little boy Blue, huh?
Yeah, a wisecracker, all right.
Well, tell that boss of yours I'll be dropping around to see him for an interview.
Uh-uh.
Huh?
He don't want it that way. He sent me to see you instead.
Yeah?
He don't like people who don't pay attention to his telephone messages. He thinks you're very nasty, yapping all the time that he had something to do with the Ted Carter killing.
So?
So, like I said, Mr. Bailey don't like it.
Okay, Buster, now get out of here.
Not right now. Mr. Bailey wants me to teach you a lesson. For this blackjack. Mr. Bailey don't like smart guys. Wisecracker.
Night Beat stars Frank Lovejoy as Lucky Stone.
I woke up with a nice view of my ceiling. Sign outside the window flashed off and on. And every time it flashed on, it was like that punk of Bailey's with his blackjack testing his strength on my skull and doing fine. After a while, I crawled to my knees and worked my way over to the wall. And I climbed up the side of the dresser until I reached the phone.
Operator?
Operator, get me the police to... No, never mind. Skip it. All of a sudden, I didn't want the police in on this. I wanted this to be a private party. All of a sudden, I wanted to feel a gun in my hands. I washed up, changed clothes, and found a cab. It was 11:15 when I reached Joan's apartment. I had to knock a long time before she came to the door. She was rubbing the sleep out of her eyes.
Lucky? Oh, come on in.
Thanks, honey.
What happened to you?
Surprise party by the same people who surprised Ted.
Wait, I'll get some bandages.
No, that's not why I came.
No?
When Ted quit the rackets, what did he do with his gun?
He asked me to keep it. He said then I'd know he was on the up and up. Why?
I want Ted's gun.
What are you going to do with it?
Never mind. Just get me the gun.
No, Lucky. You'll only get...
The gun.
It's in the bottom drawer of the dresser. I'll get it. Think you're crazy. Here.
Thank you.
Where are you going?
Wentworth Towers. Bailey has an office there.
Lucky you are crazy. You're walking right into a trap. They'll kill you like they killed Ted.
Well, if I don't go, Jerry will be coming around again. You see, either way, it's no good. At least this way, I say when. Wish me luck.
Luck? Oh, you fool, you poor fool. You'll end up like Ted with 5 bullet holes in your back.
When I got to the Wentworth Towers, it was almost midnight. The streets were deserted. The only sounds were distant traffic. The front door was locked, and the only light in the lobby came from the night elevator. An old man sat inside the elevator dozing. I pounded on the window. He reluctantly got to his feet and started walking toward me. He snapped the lock and pushed open the front door.
Nobody in this building now? All the offices are closed.
Not all of them, Pop. I have an appointment with Mr. Bailey. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take you in. 24th floor. Come on.
As the elevator rose, I dipped my hand in my coat pocket. The cold touch of the gun had the comforting sensation of a boy holding his father's hand. The elevator came to a stop on the 34th floor. The doors opened, and little boy Blue stepped out of the darkness. He had a gun, too, only his was in his fist.
Take us downstairs, Pop.
Sure thing, Jerry.
I want to see Bailey.
We know, but Bailey don't want to see you. And keep your hands out of your pockets. Let me see what you got there. A gun. Pretty nice. Thanks.
Don't mention it. I'm always handing out souvenirs.
You go out first, Pop, and open the street door.
All right, Jerry, I'll get it open for you.
Is everything all right, Pop? Is it all clear?
Why don't you go out there and see? Here, I'll help you.
Hey, what?
I shoved the kid out. I pushed the lever that slammed the door shut and started the elevator going up. I could see little lights blink on the instrument panel as I passed each floor. Bailey was on the 34th floor, and I was getting closer. Close. All of a sudden, the elevator stopped. I was stuck between the 11th and 12th floors. I didn't have to be a mastermind to figure out what had happened. Little boy Blue and the old man had gone to the basement and switched off the power on my elevator. They'd bring up one of the other elevators and come after me. I began to feel like an animal trapped in a cage. Then I noticed the little door on top of the elevator. I climbed up on the old man's stool. I pushed the door upward and grabbed the sides of the opening. And I started pulling myself out. And now I was standing on top of the elevator, hanging onto a greasy cable that ran down from the roof of the building. Far below, I heard the other elevator with Jerry and the old man start climbing. I leaned forward to reach the door of the 12th floor. I couldn't reach it. The other elevator was coming up fast. As I lunged for it again, their elevator stopped at the 11th floor. I was trapped good. But as long as I was between floors, they couldn't get to me either. Little boy Blue figured it that way, too.
Well, how are we going to get his elevator down here so we can get at him?
You wait here. I'll go down to the basement and get him down to the 11th with the emergency train.
All right, but hurry.
It was turning into a big evening. In a couple of minutes, I could feel my elevator inching down toward the 11th floor and me going right along with it, perched on the roof. Then I heard that shattering of glass. That meant the kid was using his gun butt to break through the little glass window in my elevator door so that he could reach in and spring it open. Ah, nice figuring. And now if I could figure a way to stay alive for the next 5 minutes, Mr. Einstein could move over.
Where is he? How can he get out of here?
Couldn't. Jerry, look up there. The trap door's open. He's on top of the elevator.
Yeah? Now, that ain't playing fair. How many floors in this building, Pop?
35. Where?
I've always wanted to run an elevator. Let's see how fast we can get to the roof.
Jerry.
Shut up. Hold on to your hat, Stone.
We were rising a mile a minute. All I could do was sprawl down and watch the roof of that building coming at me. Faster and faster. The top pulley singing around and around, louder and louder. The roof was rushing to meet me like we were lovers from way back. Faster and faster, almost to the top. Almost. Now I know how those goats felt when that bomb went off at Bikini. The shock of the elevator smacking against the huge top springs shook me up like a bag of cement in a concrete mixer. But I was alive, which is always encouraging. Jerry stopped off on the 35th floor. Pop started taking the elevator down very slowly, and I was still sprawled out on the top of it, trying to get the cobwebs out of my brain.
All right, Pop. You must be the original Indian rubber man, Stone. You'd make a fortune in the circus.
Oh, it's nothing at all. I owe it all to the heavy underwear.
Come on, climb out here.
Well, how can I refuse such a nice invitation? Especially when you're holding a gun.
Come on, back up, Pop.
Elevator! Wait a minute, will you please?
Who's that? Yeah, well, the cleaning woman better put your gun away.
Well, this is sure a break. I thought you'd be taking a snooze.
All right. Come on, get in.
Yeah, let's all get in. It's hard to get an elevator this time of night. We rode down, the four of us. No one said anything. The cleaning woman was half dead on her feet, her head bobbing, half asleep. Oh, that lovely, innocent, tired old gal was saving my life. So long as she was with us.
I'll get out on the 3rd floor, Pop. I'm going to the dressing room.
3 it is. Here you are, number 3.
Thank you. Good night, Pop.
Good night, Pop. I get off here, too.
No, you don't. This ain't the main floor.
For me, this is the main floor.
Stone! Come back here, Stone!
I raced down the dark hall, past the cleaning woman who stared at me with her mouth wide open. In the distance, I saw what I was looking for. A little red sign that said stairway. My little pal was right after me. I got to the stairs, started down 4 at a time. He's right on my tail.
You're not getting away, Stone!
I had to get out of here fast. This party was getting rough. I reached the main floor. Instead of going through the lobby and into the street, I ducked behind the cigar counter. The kid raced by. He went out through the front door looking for me on the street outside. I looked at the indicator over the night elevator door. The old guy was still parked on the 3rd floor. I went to the stairs again and down into the basement. I needed an elevator, and there were several parked there for the night. I commandeered one. I was getting to be a regular genius with these elevators. Well, this was going to be the end of the little game. I was finally on my way up to Bailey. The 34th floor. The building tapered off up here. Around the small square hallway were 6 office doors, barely visible in the pale moonlight. Bailey was behind one of those doors. I tried the first door. Nothing. The second door was locked. Then a telephone started ringing inside one of the offices. I hurried over to it. Locked. The transom was half open, but no light showed through. Then, as I was about to turn away, I heard...
Hello? Jerry, where the devil are you? The lobby. You crazy fool. He's up here. Yeah, in the hall just outside the door. Get up here right away. Don't take any chances. As soon as your elevator door's open, kill him. All right, move. Now, what are your plans, Mr. Stone?
That was a good question of Bailey's. What was I going to do? I couldn't break into Bailey's office. I didn't have a gun. He'd kill me before I could turn the doorknob. The indicator above the night elevator door was blinking fast. It was on his way up. The kid was in it, and the instant that door opened, he'd kill me. Right then, I started thinking of Joan.
You'll end up like Ted with 5 bullet holes in your back.
Yes, it was beginning to look that way. The elevator had passed the 17th floor, the 18th, the 19th. The little lights were dancing like a string of shooting stars. That kid was coming up fast. I was beginning to feel those bullets tearing into my back.
You'll end up like Ted with 5 bullet holes in your back.
With 5 bullet holes in my back, his back. I'd fought my way 34 stories to reach Bailey, and now I wasn't thinking about Bailey.
You'll end up like Ted with 5 bullet holes in your back.
As the kid's elevator passed the 32nd floor, I started running for the elevator I brought up from the basement. I jumped into it and started down. I didn't want to kill Bailey anymore. I only wanted to get to Joan. Joan was waiting for me when I got to her apartment. She wanted the whole story, everything that happened. When I'd finished, I watched her relax a little.
Then you didn't kill Bailey.
No, Joan, I didn't kill Bailey.
Oh. Police siren. Sounds like it's stopping in front of the house.
Yeah. They came here sooner than I expected.
Sooner than you... Lucky you've been lying to me. You did kill him. They've come to arrest you. You lied.
I haven't lied, Joan. They haven't come to arrest me. They've come to arrest you.
Me?
For the murder of Ted Carter.
What are you talking about? I didn't...
Oh, but you did. You said the wrong thing tonight when I went out to get Bailey.
What do you mean?
You said I'd end up like Ted with 5 bullet holes in my back. How would you know about that? It wasn't in any of the newspaper stories. You never went to the morgue. There was no way on earth you could have known unless you killed him. They're right with you. That's the police, Joan. Any more questions?
Yes. Don't you know what it's like to love somebody? I was willing to do anything for him. Scrub his floor, wash his clothes, give him a good home, anything. But he always kept going back to Laverne. The way I loved him, do you think I could let any other woman in?
All right, boys. All right, I'll let you in. I want you to know one thing, Joan. No matter what you thought, Ted really loved you. You see, Laverne represented his old world. But with you, he was going to have a new life. You remember that, will you? Okay, boys, she's all yours. Yeah, that's the story of Ted Carter. Murdered in the name of love. Okay, if that's what love does to you, I'll string along with Pinochle. I'm just feeling low tonight. Because murder is only a symptom of what we're suffering from. The disease is selfishness and jealousy and greed. Too many of us have decided that the golden rule may have been all right for Grandpa, but nowadays the fashionable thing is dog eat dog. But then I think, how can that be? How can any of us hurt or hate or even be indifferent to those around us when in this whole crazy world all any of us ever really have is each other? Well, that does it for tonight. I called Bailey, and I told him I'd made a mistake, but then he'd made him too, so it was a Mexican standoff. It's a nice job. You finish up, you yell for the copy boy, you grab for a second-hand sandwich and a tired cup of coffee, and then you start all over again. Because tomorrow you've got another night beat. You don't know where the story's coming from or where it's going to take you. But you know it's somewhere out there in the dark waiting for you. I'll tell you all about it next week. Copy, boy.
Night Beat is written by Larry Marcus and produced by Bill Karn. Music is composed and conducted by Frank Worth.
Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the night beat for the Chicago Star. Stories start in many different ways. This one began with a stay of execution and ended with a doomed man finding salvation and the hunter becoming the hunted.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
There's an old bromide about nothing being deader than yesterday's news. But what about the people who made that news? The couple who were divorced, they've still got their tangled lives to live. The hit-and-run driver, he's still got his conscience to keep step with him wherever he walks. And the murderer on his way to the death house, his story is still with him, even though yesterday's newsprint lines the inside of today's garbage cans and provides wrapping in the fish markets. There's another old bromide the best of us have a hard time learning. It has to do with taking things for granted. And I was the wide-eyed innocent in kindergarten, my education beginning a little past midnight as I stepped out into the deserted sidewalk in front of the newspaper building.
All right, Stone.
Huh?
Don't turn around. Don't move.
Well, if this is a stick-up, you're out of luck. Payday's tomorrow.
It's John Galt, Mr. Stone.
Galt?
I said don't turn around. I escaped, Stone. I got away. Let's find your car.
How did you escape?
On the train, on the way to the death house. The guard got careless.
That his gun?
Yes.
You kill him?
No.
There's probably an alarm out for you.
Maybe they won't catch me before I do what I have to do.
And what's that?
I kept saying I was innocent, Mr. Stone. You kept saying I was guilty. The newspaper's a powerful thing. What I said, only a few people heard. What you said in your column, 1 million people heard. Come on, let's go.
I work for a newspaper, Galt. We deal in facts. Facts like a jealous husband shooting an unarmed man in the back.
Facts. When it's printed, people believe it. Even if it's a bunch of trumped-up lies.
I didn't convict you, Galt. The evidence did.
You helped. Here we are. Get in. You can drive. And no tricks. I've got nothing to lose. Nothing.
Where are we going?
To the assistant district attorney's home. He lives on Fowler between Oak and Euclid.
What do you want with him, Galt? He's just a guy doing his job, and it's a tough one.
He's figuring on getting married soon. planning on a nice, comfortable life.
What's wrong with that?
Why don't you ask my wife? Come on, get moving.
The Assistant District Attorney, Philip Holmes. He conducted a brilliant prosecution of Galt, developed an airtight case. And now Holmes was preparing to taste the fruits of victory. His fiancée, the girl he wanted to marry for a year, had finally set the date. The wedding was scheduled for next Sunday. And now this. I looked over at Galt. His fingers clutched the gun like a child clutches a favorite doll. I'd have to wait, sweat it out for a while, find out what he was after, and pray for an opening. Maybe he isn't home, Galt. Maybe he's still out with his fiancée.
Shut up.
Yes?
Inside.
What do you think?
Get back in. You too, Stone.
Galt. Now, look here.
Ready for bed, Mr. District Attorney?
Yes. I heard from the police about your escape. They're looking for you, Galt.
Get dressed.
What do you expect to accomplish? You can't...
You better do as he says, Holmes.
What is this, Randy? What are you doing here?
I'm just along for the ride. This is his show.
All right, answer it. Be careful what you say, Mr. D.A.
Hello?
Philip, I just heard it on the radio. John Galt escaped.
Yes.
Oh, they called you.
Yes.
Darling, do be careful. He might come for you. He swore he'd get even with you.
Oh, there's nothing to worry about, dear.
Phil, he's crazy.
Say goodbye.
What? What's that, Phil?
Louise, he wouldn't come here, Louise. This would be the last place he'd come to.
But you should have protection, Phil. Darling, if you
Hello,
call the
good
police,
night.
Yes. It's all right. Good night, dear.
Phil.
Good night.
Now get dressed.
What do you want?
I just told you, I want you to get dressed and hurry. Hurry! Like you hurried me through my trial. Get away from that drawer!
I want you to get dressed. I just want to pass.
I told you to get up!
Don't breathe my hand, you...
Now his back was to me concerned with Holmes, and for a moment he'd forgotten me. I had 3 fast steps to take, and then I grabbed his arm. Drop it! Drop that gun! Holmes, get the gun.
No, you don't. I got it. I ought to shoot now. I ought to shoot both of you now. Get back, Stone.
You can't blame me for trying, Galt. You're not acting very much like an innocent man.
Yeah, what do you expect me to do? Go quietly to the death cell and wait for a miracle? Keep on waiting for it while they shave my head and slit my trousers?
You should have thought of that before you got involved with a character like Cutler.
You were given a fair trial, Galt.
Fair trial? There was a time I had a lot of respect for law and courts and justice, but not now. From here on in, I haven't got anything to lose. But you have, Holmes, and so have you, Stone. Try it again. Try another trick. If you miss again, I'll kill you.
You'll kill us anyway, Galt, won't you?
I know I can't escape. I know I'll be caught. But when they finally catch up to me, 1 second before they kill me, I'm going to kill you.
And in the meantime?
I'm going to show you things that never got into the court. Things that'll prove that I didn't kill Monty Cutler. Then your dying will be bitter and pointless like mine is. We'll see how you like it. Ready, Mr. D.A.? We'll use your car. The police respect it.
Is this where you used to live, Galt?
That's right. Where I used to live.
What's here?
My wife. Wait.
You sure this is how you want it, Galt?
Just don't try anything foolish.
It's your play.
John. Oh.
Ev, you know Randy Stone, Evelyn. The one who wrote those stories about me, about us.
You're still mixed up, Galt. I'm a reporter. I don't take sides.
What is it, John? What happened?
And the district attorney, Ev.
John, what's wrong?
Get in, both of you.
You're an awfully determined host, Galt.
Over there where I can watch you.
Why are you doing this, Galt? You can't do yourself any good, and you're only making things worse for your wife.
Motive. You kept saying motive, Mr. D.A. Your whole case against me was built on what you said was my motive for killing Cutler.
I heard everything you had to say in court.
This isn't court now. There's no judge, no jury, just us. Ev, we've been in love for a long time, haven't we?
Yes, John.
Ev, you worked for Monty Cutler for years. Was there ever anything between you and him?
No.
I was never jealous of him. I had no reason.
No.
Was there any reason I'd want to kill him?
No, John.
I heard all this before.
No matter what my wife says, Mr. D.A., I'm going to die tonight. I'm going to run, and they're going to catch me. This is the last time I'll see my wife. But you'll never live to have a wife. You're going to be running with me. You're going to know how it feels to be hunted. How it is to know that this is your last night to live.
Go on, Gold.
Ev, the night I called for you at Cutler's place, the night he was shot, you'd already gone home. You said you saw a woman there earlier.
Yes, Mr. Cutler's wife.
He hadn't been living with her.
Not for years.
And just a second. The police tried to find this wife. They never found any evidence he'd been married.
No, he never was. Never found any supporting evidence that a woman was there the night of the murder.
I asked for time. Why'd you rush the trial right through, Holmes? Maybe I could have found her.
John.
Yes, I've got to go.
John, what's going to happen?
Come on, you two. Goodbye, Ed.
Where now?
Maybe some more evidence that never got into court. Keep your eye on the road, Stone. I'll tell you where to go.
I never heard a convicted killer say he wasn't framed or up on a bum rap or he never did it. I've heard it hundreds of times, and no matter how good they make it sound, they've always got an angle. And I'd find out what Galt's was before long, too. I kept driving downtown to the west side into the manufacturing district.
Turn right at the corner, Stone.
Monty Cutler's place?
No, across the street from Cutler's, the warehouse.
And what's there?
A missing witness. Maybe he's back in town now.
Who is it?
The night watchman. Come on. Out. He was there when I came to pick Evelyn up that night. I said hello to him, but nobody could find him during the trial.
Seems like a silly waste of time to me.
Time is all you have left, Holmes. You better keep hoping I manage to waste a lot of it before they close in on us.
Hey, fellas, what do you want there? Hold on there. What is it you want? What?
Yeah, it's me, Charlie. Johnny Galt. And this is Randy Stone of the Star. And maybe you know our assistant district attorney, Mr. Holmes.
What do you want?
The answer to some questions, Charlie.
What about? What for?
About Monty Cutler's murder. And because you skipped town during my trial.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If you know anything, Charlie, tell us about it.
What could I know?
Why'd you leave town, Charlie?
I went on my vacation.
More than 4 weeks?
Yeah, sure.
Who paid for your vacation?
Nobody. What do you mean?
Tell him what he wants to know, Charlie.
Mr. District Attorney,
Go ahead, Charlie.
You want me to tell everything that happened that night, Mr. Holmes?
Why not? What difference does it make?
What difference? Well, maybe so. Well, I said hello to you, Mr. Galt. You remember that?
Sure.
And before that...
What?
Well, before that, this woman come around.
Which woman, Charlie?
Well, I've been a watchman here a long time. I see her a few times, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. She used to come around.
Cutler's wife.
I don't know whether she was or not.
How long before I got there, Charlie?
Maybe half hour, I guess.
How long did she stay there?
I don't know. Mr. District Attorney, you sure you want me to spill this?
Why, yes. Yes, Charlie. There's no mystery, is there?
But there was a car there, too.
What car?
Big limousine.
Go on, Charlie. Which big limousine?
The district attorney's car.
My car?
The DA's car?
Yes, sir.
Were you raiding Cutler's roulette wheel, Holmes?
No. That's it.
That's it. That explains everything. You were there. That's why you refused me a delay to uncover the truth.
No, don't jump to conclusions.
How does
Galt.
it feel, Holmes? Why not jump to conclusions? You've been doing it a long time. It all falls into place, the whole pattern. You're rushing me through the trial, not giving me a chance. Piling up circumstantial evidence.
Could it have been your car, Holmes?
No. That's... A lot of people have access to it.
That'll be worth finding out about, Holmes.
Yes. Yes, I'll look into it.
Oh, yeah, I can just believe that. I can just see you putting your neck in a noose for me.
Galt, you said it before. A newspaper's a pretty powerful thing. With this evidence, we
You
can...
expect me to trust you after all those stories about how guilty I was?
Well, this would make a better story.
Sure. The story of Randy Stone bringing in an escaped murderer would be swell for you.
Look, you've established enough doubt so that we can...
You'd say anything to save your skin. You'd promise anything. We'll save it for your readers. They believe what you say.
The streets are honeycombed with police. How far do you expect to get?
At least one more place before they catch up.
Where, Galt?
A woman, Mr. District Attorney. Cutler's wife. The one you said doesn't exist. But does it matter? Wherever we go, you'd better keep hoping nobody stops us. Us. Because as soon as they do, it'll be the end of the line for all of us.
Well, Randy, you're a fast guy with an answer, so answer this one. Or are you looking for an angle? You've heard 100 convicted killers say they're innocent. You're tired of listening. You know they're lying. But here's the 101st, Randy. Maybe he hasn't got any angle. Maybe he's telling the truth. And if he is, it makes sense for him to feel that there's no answer. And he's got to keep running with the cops and everybody waiting for him with guns and with cars. Because he can shout his lungs out and nobody will listen. He can yell and cry and scream that he's not guilty. And they'll still drag him down the long corridor and make him step over the next to last threshold. What would you do if you were him, Randy? And the DA's car, how does that figure? Galt wasn't taking any chances now. He forced Holmes and me to burrow into the well below the dashboard. He got behind the wheel, driving with one hand, his other hand gripping his gun. The DA's car was flush, but it wasn't designed to make a passenger comfortable doubled up. I was subject to claustrophobia. There was never a better time for it to come out.
Hang on. There's a barricade ahead. We're going through it. I'll be a fool going.
About the only thing I could see was the gas accelerator and Galt's foot. And suddenly the foot went way down, jamming the pedal against the floor.
Here it comes. This is how it feels.
I remember something about letting your body relax when you're heading for a smash-up. But how can you relax with your knee propped against your chin? I clamped my jaw tight and said a fast prayer.
Like this, Stone, like this. NBC is bringing you Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. This Wednesday marks the return to the air of Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman in their popular roles as the Halls of Ivy. The delightful adventures of Professor Hall and his wife Vicky mean 30 minutes of top listening for the entire family. And on Wednesday, October 4th, that remarkable mustache that walks like a man, Groucho Marx, will be on NBC with his hilarious quiz game, You Bet Your Life. It's 30 minutes of fun and prizes, the biggest prize of all being Groucho, of course. And now back to Night Beat and Randy Stone.
It wasn't particularly comfortable under the dashboard of the car, but it was a good place to be with bullets on the loose and an escaped murderer at the wheel. The car skidded and danced through the barricade and then gave a surge and swept on.
How does it feel, you guys? How's it feel to be the box for a change?
Let us get out of here and I'll tell you. What's that?
I don't know. Gas. They hit the gas tank. I'm out of gas. All right, get out.
Now, wait, hold on a minute. There's no sense in this, Galt.
Get moving. I'm out of gas, but not out of bullets.
Before you do something that can't be undone, Galt, think a minute. There'll be a real investigation. We'll go...
We gotta make those woods.
Holmes, what about it? If he's innocent,
I give you my word.
Come on. Faster. They'll be here in a minute. Faster.
Oh, listen.
I thought I was being fair. The trial, I believe there wasn't any valid reason for a postponement. I've always conducted myself according to strict letter of the law. Now if I made a mistake...
Save it, Holmes. All right. Hold it. You get behind that tree, Holmes. Stone, behind that bush. It's not too dark for me to see you. One move and I shoot.
We know you're there. Come out with your hands up.
The two cops from the patrol car were sitting ducks with the moon behind them. They were coming slowly, their guns drawn. If Galt wanted to shoot, he couldn't have a better target.
Stay back. Stay back.
But they kept coming, not seeing any of us, straight for the bush behind which I stood.
Mr. Holmes, are you there? Yes. Yes, don't shoot.
Don't come any closer. I'm warning you.
We're coming in.
I said stay back. I'll shoot.
Galt fired from less than 15 feet, but if the shot hit one of them, it didn't stop him. They both came on. I counted 1, 2, and then the cop in front was close enough. I braced myself, and I let him have it. Sometimes you have to do the darndest things to help a guy. My haymaker hurt the cop, but not as much as Galt's bullet would have. The other cop was on me now. I twisted. I rolled away. He sent a whistling blow past my ear. He was a heavy guy, real heavy as he landed on my kidney, and I tried to squirm away, and then suddenly the cop's weight slid off my back. I turned, and Galt's face, twisted and maniacal, looked down at me, his gun raised.
Get up, Stone. You two Holmes. They're out cold. Cops will be swarming all over here in a few minutes.
Wherever we go, they'll...
Now you know how it is. To be the hunted instead of the hunter.
How long do you think we'll last in these woods?
The freight yards are close by. I said, come on, both of you. Run! Come on, run!
You can read about it. You can see it in the movie. But you never really know how it feels to be the quarry in an honest-to-death game of fox and hounds until you've had it. We were running, but there'd have to be a dead end, and soon. And that'd be the time that Galt, half crazy with bitterness and hate, would turn his gun on us to make sure that he took us with him. We made it to the freight yards, and Galt steered us to one of a long line of boxcars.
Okay, here's an empty freight. Get in. In that corner. Sit down.
Now, for a little while, I thought maybe you were innocent, Galt.
Ask Holmes whether I am or not. Ask him what his car was doing to Monte Cutler's. Maybe he lost too much at the roulette wheel in the upstairs room.
You didn't like it when they used that kind of thinking in court.
When the cops came after us, what did Holmes do? He just stood there waiting.
What did you expect me to do?
Maybe what Stone did. He didn't just stand there hoping the cops would kill me like you were hoping. That would have fixed it up fine for you, wouldn't it, Holmes?
You're all crossed up, Galt. I helped knock them out because I didn't want them killed.
They're coming, Galt.
Galt, well, you still have time. If you give yourself up, I'll make every effort to get at the truth.
I know the truth. You killed Cutler.
You talked about motive, Galt. What's my motive? Why would I kill him?
There's something beyond that, too. A man neither has it in him to kill or he hasn't, Galt. When you shot at the cops back there, it proved something.
I didn't shoot at them. How could I have missed them so close? I shot in the air to scare them off.
You're going to scare them off now? They're pretty close. They'll be here next.
All right, you tell me. It's up to both of you. When that door opens, I'm going to shoot. We'll find out who's the murderer. All right, Holmes. Tell me what to do. Shall I shoot them or you? Them or you?
Listen, they're still away. You can hide. I'll tell them you ran away. They'll believe me.
You must think I'm an idiot. Well, Stone, you said a man is either a murderer or he isn't. How about you? Are you a murderer? They're hunting you now, too. They'll be here in a second. If I shoot them, we can still have a little time. How about it, Stone?
You'll do what's in you to do, Galt.
Let's try this.
Quick. Holmes, quick. What'll it be?
Oh, you crazy fool. I didn't kill Cutler. I swear to you I didn't. All right. All right, come on out of there.
The cop's flashlight played around. Galt got to his feet. I could see his gun raised, but he was standing stock still, frozen. I jumped to my feet, but not as quickly as Holmes.
Don't shoot. It's me, the district attorney. Galt, for heaven's sake.
And then he stopped. Galt still stood there. The cops moved in, their flashlight being steady on Galt's tortured face. And then the tenseness went out of his features. He turned to the district attorney, dropping his gun on.
I can't. can't shoot.
Maybe you did prove something, Galt, right now.
What was your motive, Holmes? Doesn't matter now, does it? You gotta have a motive to kill somebody. It has to be a pretty good motive, too. Because even with what I have against you, I still can't kill you.
Everything all right, Mr. Holmes? Yes. Yes. Okay, Galt. Come along.
He didn't kill Monty Cutler.
No.
You didn't either.
No.
It was your car.
I don't know. I suppose maybe it was.
Galt wanted to take us to one more place, Holmes.
Cutler's wife.
Yeah, we'll have to find out where she lives.
Yes, I'd like to stop off at Louise's first, Randy. She's probably worried about me. It's close by.
Sure. We drove back away with the patrol car, and then Holmes and I caught a cab. It was only a 10-minute drive to his fiancée's place. The DA was quiet. I didn't feel like talking either. We were awful close to eternal silence back there in the freight car. Maybe that was in Holmes's mind, too. Or maybe he was thinking about the woman he was going to marry. A uniformed elevator operator took us up to the 4th floor. The swank apartment house was good for my jumping nerves after the rough night. Deep carpets and subdued lights everywhere. I began to feel myself unwinding.
Darling. Oh, darling, thank heaven you're all right.
Louise, this is Randy Stone.
Oh, please come in.
Thank you. Thank you. 3 in the morning's a pretty weird hour to come calling.
I couldn't sleep anyhow. I've been glued to the radio. Must have been terrible for you. For both of you.
Louise.
Would you like some hot coffee?
Louise, there was a moment when...
Darling, you mustn't think about it anymore. I know it was horrible. Mr. Stone, wouldn't you like some coffee?
No, thank you.
Promised to kill us, Louise. There was that moment when he could have. What stopped him, Randy?
I think it was because he wasn't sure you killed Cutler.
Yes. Yes, he couldn't figure a motive for me. Isn't that a peculiar little thing, Louise?
Let's not think about it
If he'd
anymore.
known I did have a motive, if he'd known the woman I wanted to marry was Monty Cutler's wife, he wouldn't have hesitated. The rest of the evidence was all there.
Phil.
He could have killed us. And he didn't. He's an honest man. Far more honest than I was. Because all along I kept pushing the thought out of my mind. I didn't want to let myself think that John Galt might not be guilty.
Phil, it's all over now. It's finished.
Louise, why didn't you tell me you were Cutler's wife? Because Cutler was a gambler and a racketeer?
Phil, Mr. Stone is here.
Maybe I ought to let you handle this alone.
No. Oh, Randy, I want you to hear this. You see, it's understandable that we couldn't find Cutler's wife. Louise was out of town, weren't you, Louise?
Phil.
I'd loaned the car to you, Louise. You were using the car that night.
I didn't know that Galt would be there. I didn't want to implicate anybody.
Kind of makes me an accomplice, doesn't it?
No. I did it for us. You've got no pardon in life. Because I love you, Phil.
Randy?
Yeah, Holmes.
You come with us? Down to headquarters.
Yeah, I've got an apology to make down there, too. That old bromide that I was talking about, it's don't jump to conclusions. It's an easy habit to get into. At work, at home, with the people we know and love. I got my education all over again with Johnny Galt, and I didn't learn with books. Playing for keeps is a tough way to learn, but maybe it lasts longer that way. I hope so. Copy boy. Where is that copy boy? Probably sneaking a beer at the corner. Oh, there I go, jumping to conclusions again. Copy boy.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy, is produced and directed by Warren Lewis and edited by Larry Marcus. Tonight's story was written by Felix Lester and Merwin Gerard, with music by Frank Worth. The part of Galt was played by Jeff Corey. Others in tonight's cast were Gene Bates, Francis Cheney, Eddie Fields, Hal Gerard, and John Stevenson. Frank Lovejoy will next be seen in Milton Sperling's production Three Secrets, released by Warner Brothers. NBC presents Frank Lovejoy in Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. Behind the business suit respectability of the big city lies another world, a world of other standards and other laws. It's the rich world of chance, rich for all but the suckers on the outside. Your choices are many. Backroom roulette, nickel and dime policy slips sold on many a corner, and upstairs poker clubs for the tuxedo trade. For all its profit, feeding the public urge to get rich on a spin is a tough business. The men who run it live steady and die hard. The most recent boss of Operation Wager, Sligo, Joe Sligo, wanted in New York for extortion, in Illinois for murder. But all the Chicago authorities knew about him was his business philosophy, pay up or die. I was just straightening up everything preparatory to a night on the town when I remembered I'd left a story lead on my editor's desk. I walked upstairs and along the corridor toward his office when I heard steps behind me. I turned around. It was Charlie Robbins, who worked in accounting. And when he got to me, he grabbed my arm.
Randy. Boy, I'm glad I caught you.
What's up?
I got to talk to you. It's important.
Must be.
Let's go downstairs to the coffee shop, huh?
Well, as soon as I pick up some copy.
No, there isn't time, Randy. Come on.
I knew what it was before he told me. It had happened before. Charlie was a family man and a hard worker. A guy with a future, they said. His only trouble was he liked the rattle of dice, and once Charlie started losing, which was most of the time, he'd throw every cent he had to the wolves and then start playing on his credit rating. Charlie's ventures at the tables hadn't leaked through to his boss as yet, only because his friends had kept him out of trouble with cash loans. We crowded into a back booth at the cafe, and I made up my mind I was going to let Charlie sweat this one out alone.
Gee, I'm glad I ran into you, Randy. I don't know what I'd have done if I hadn't run into you.
Well, the answer is no, Charlie.
Listen, Randy, this is the last time, I swear.
Every time I bail you out, you only get in deeper.
The last time, so help me, Randy, the last time.
That's been the story for 2 years, Charlie. What do you let yourself get in so deep for?
I don't know what it is. It's something that gets you. Every time I go in there saying, I don't care whether I win or lose. I'm just doing it for the fun of it. That's what I say. Then I start to drop some dough. It's like I'm drowning. I got to get back. Then it's all gone, and I come out of it, and there's the guy with my money. I want to reach across and grab it back. And then I remember I lost it. And I got to go home.
Can't stay away from it, huh, Charlie?
No.
Well, what about next time?
There won't be a next time, Randy, I swear. Look, Randy, I wouldn't ask you for the money, not if it was just another $50 to some guy in the club, but this is serious.
Isn't it always?
Yeah, I guess. But this is really serious. Randy, this guy, he told me if I don't have the money by tonight, see, I'm in deep to him. Not like the other times, deeper.
How much deeper?
I'm to him for $3,000.
$3,000?
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie, you're talking to the wrong guy.
What do I do, Randy? He said if I didn't have the money...
Who said?
Phil, his name is. He's Sligo's right-hand man.
Sligo? Joe Sligo?
Yeah.
You know Sligo?
No, and I don't care if I never meet him. Randy, what am I going to do?
$3,000. You got yourself in a lot of trouble.
You know lots of people, Randy. Look, let's say I took a loan. Now, I make $75 a week. Say I took out a loan for $3,000 and paid it back over a period of, say, 2 years.
Who are you kidding? You're loaned up to your neck.
Yeah, but I'd pay this one off first.
$3,000. A wife, a couple of kids.
Don't lecture me.
I got half a mind to let them do what they want to you, Charlie. Maybe you have a right to throw your own dough into the lake. That's your business. As far as your family is concerned, that's their business if they put up with this routine. But when you come to me for dough, that's my business. My good sense says I'll be supporting the City Poker Club for the next couple of years.
You're right. You're right. I got no business coming to you for money. I got myself into it. I got to pay for it. Forget it, Randy. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Sit down. Sit up. $3,000.
The reason I was thinking about a personal loan from somebody, I wouldn't have to tell them about my other obligations. A loan company, a bank, I wouldn't have a chance. They want to know about the people you owe and maybe collateral.
Oh, hold on now. Come on, take it easy. Take a cigarette.
Thanks. What did they do, Randy?
I don't know.
They'll kill me, won't they?
You never can tell.
I've been in debt to them for 6 months.
I can't figure how they let you play that long.
I told Phil I was getting some money from San Francisco. This Phil, he knows me. I always managed to pay up before, so he gave me credit. But 6 months.
Yeah, he's a little crazy, too.
Oh, well, I told him a good story.
I'll bet.
If he goes to Sligo tonight and tells him about it...
All the guys to get mixed up with, Sligo. Hey, wait a minute.
What is it, Randy?
Charlie, look, you say he wants the money tonight.
Tonight. Got to be tonight.
You're not going to get $3,000 cash from anybody I know. It's 11:30 now. What time do you have to have the money?
He said be at the club at 4 a.m., the latest. That's when they close up.
The police are looking for Sligo, you know that.
Yeah, I know that.
They've been looking for him for months. They're not even sure he's in Chicago.
Look, I'm not getting involved in any...
You're already involved up to here. Now, the police want Sligo. Without Sligo, you don't owe $3,000.
No. Count me out.
Okay, forget it. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do.
They'd kill me if they found out I was the one who turned him in.
You know where Sligo is, Charlie?
I didn't say that. I just said that...
How could you turn him in if you didn't know where he was? You know where Sligo is, don't you?
No, I don't know where he is.
You're never going to get a hold of $3,000 tonight.
I got to.
Never. Not a chance in a million. Get that through your head, Charlie. You'll never get a hold of that money tonight.
All right.
You know the ropes. You know the operation. Sligo can't afford to have debtors wandering around. A debtor broadcasts a debt. If people find out Sligo's getting lenient, you know what happens. Credit goes to pieces. Collection is rough stuff, Charlie. It's only one way Sligo can make good a bad debt. And that's with a gun.
You're trying to scare me.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
I'll get the money if I have to...
Oh, sit down. Don't be a fool. That's not the answer.
There's $50,000 up there in the safe. I've got the key to the office.
Why didn't you take it before?
I thought of it. You think I didn't think of it?
But you didn't take it.
All day I handled this stuff. We made up the payroll today. All I had to do was
You didn't take it, and that's what counts. And you're not going to take it now. Now, sit down. Now, listen to me, Charlie. You came to me for help. Now, if I'm going to help you, you've got to tell me everything, and on the level. Otherwise, I won't lift a finger.
I told you everything.
Do you know where Joe Sligo is? Now, answer me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
But I'm not...
There's $3,000. Now, is it possible to make arrangements to give it to him personally and instead of handling it through this,
Phil,
yeah.
Phil, no, not possible.
Why not?
Because it's not, that's all. What's this all about?
A trap, a setup.
Are you crazy?
It's safer than walking home past those dark alleys, Charlie.
What would it be? I mean, what kind of a setup?
Well, that we'd have to talk to the police about.
And if something went wrong?
You'd be no worse off than you are. What do you say?
I need a drink. Let's get out of here.
Across the street was a little bar. Blue lights and soft music. We sat down. I bought Charlie something to settle his nerves. He gulped it down, made a face, and then fell to dipping the bottom of his glass in the wet spot on the bar. I asked him if it was all settled, if he'd go through with it. He didn't answer me. I got up, called Lieutenant Peterson, told him where to meet me. In 15 minutes, the three of us, Charlie, the lieutenant, and I, were sitting in a back booth making our plans.
4 o'clock, huh?
That's what he said, didn't you, Charlie?
Did you say 4 o'clock, Charlie? Come on, Charlie, snap out of it. Look at me. Did you say 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock, yeah.
What's the address?
He's got friends. They'll get me. If he doesn't get me, his friends will.
If everything goes right, you'll be okay. If it misses, you're in trouble. Just make sure it doesn't miss. That's the way to play it safe.
Either you get Sligo or Sligo gets you, Charlie. It's as simple as that.
I'm not going through with it.
Well, you said...
I never said I would.
What's the address, Charlie?
I'm not getting myself killed.
He'll do it, Lieutenant. He'll do it. Charlie, now what's the address? We haven't got much time. It's 1:30.
I've got $3,000, marked bills. It's right here in my pocket. It's the only way you'll ever beat him. Now, come on. What's the address?
Blanchard Hotel, 307.
We'll do it this way. You go upstairs, give him the money. Not before 4 o'clock. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand. Not before 4 o'clock.
That's right. At 4:05, get out of here.
And if I can't? What if I can't get out of there?
It won't matter. We'll have the place covered from a place across the street, from the door, from the room adjacent.
They'll hold me hostage.
The best way to ensure your safety is to do what you're told.
I can't do it. I can't do it, Lieutenant.
Why can't you?
They'll hold me.
Charlie, look. What's going to happen if you don't have the money?
Oh, don't tell me again. I know it.
It's very easy if you remember what to do. You hand them the cash.
Why do I have to be in there? It's the Blanchard Hotel, 307, 4 o'clock. Why do I have to be in there?
You tell me.
Well, maybe you don't. Do you, Charlie?
I'm supposed to pick up the key at the desk and wait for them upstairs. If I don't pick up the key, if I'm not in the room, they don't come in.
Well, maybe just pick up the key and then...
They'll be watching from down the hall, they said.
Here's the money, Charlie. I'm depending on you. Stay with him, Stone. I've got to get busy. It's going to be all right, Charlie. At 4:30, you'll be home in bed, and you won't owe anybody anything.
I'm scared.
Take care of him, Stone. See you at 4:05.
Well, let's get out of here. What do you say?
Yeah. Maybe they're watching. Every minute, maybe they've got their eye on me. Maybe they saw me with the police.
Maybe.
If they did...
No turning back now, Charlie.
What if I told him everything? What if I get him up here and tell him the whole deal?
Now, there's a great idea. Tell him you brought the cops right to his door. He'll love you for that.
Why me? Why does it have to be me?
Because you're the guy in trouble.
Look, I got a family, a wife and 2 kids.
A little late for that.
I got to call her.
After it's all over.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
Nice evening.
Yeah. Nice evening and a great story. It's going to be a great story, isn't it, Randy? Great story.
It's a great story either way, but it's a better story with a happy ending. The people buy more papers that way.
I can't get out of it, can I? Well, maybe I can. I could make a break for it. Meet him, hand him the money, and beat it.
$3,000, except that it's marked. Marked money leaves a trail like neon. He may not like you handing him that kind of money.
What time is it?
It's 1:55, about 2 more hours.
Hello, Charlie. How are you? Remember me?
Phil.
Yeah, Phil. How you been? You're looking great. Hey, let's go down to the place. I'll buy you a drink. What do you say?
Hey, that's a great idea. Come on, Charlie. Let's go get a drink.
Just Charlie.
Well, just Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie and I have a couple of things to do tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Doll, huh, Charlie?
There's a car across the street. Get going.
Better do as he says, Charlie.
You, too.
Where's the party?
Don't get funny, mister. People have a way of getting killed.
NBC is bringing you Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. A child with cerebral palsy has only half a chance. Won't you give him the other half? He needs costly, highly specialized care. He needs to learn to walk and talk. He needs to learn things everyone else takes for granted. But does he get them? He gets less than half because the care just isn't there. Right now, the tragic truth is that 92 out of every 100 persons with cerebral palsy must struggle along without any care at all. Give them a chance to lead useful, active lives. Give them a chance to become self-sufficient. That's all they ask, just a fair chance. You can help them lead active, useful lives by supporting United Cerebral Palsy, care of your local postmaster. Remember, a child with cerebral palsy has only half a chance. Won't you give him the other half? And now back to Night Beat and Randy Stone.
It was 2 o'clock. 2 hours early for the setup. Maybe the lieutenant was having us watched. Maybe, but the chances were slim. The best guess was Charlie and I were on our own until 4:05. The Blanchard Hotel was a crummy dump near the railroad tracks. We went inside and went upstairs to 307. Phil unlocked the door and we went in. There was nothing to do but play for time. We sat down, and through the window I could hear a switch engine doing its chores. I looked at Charlie. He was white, his eyes big with terror. Phil sat near the door smoking. We watched until 3:45. Then the door opened and closed quickly. It was Sligo, 15 minutes early. He was a big man with an ample bubble of paunch under his gabardine and a white, broad-brimmed hat and 4 or 5 extra chins packed between his jaw and his collar. His pinpoint eyes and pat smile were all business and cash on the line.
Well, do me a favor, pull down the blinds. I don't want the nosy neighbors peeking in.
Blinds, right.
Close the window. It's dusty.
Window, right.
What'd you bring this other one for?
I had to, Sligo. He and Charlie. I thought maybe Charlie tipped or something.
You tip anything, Charlie?
Me? Not me, Sligo.
I'm just a friend.
You gave me till 4 o'clock.
Phil, you got the money?
He's got it. He was in the back booth of a bar. I saw the 3 of them. I watched them just like you said, Sligo. He got the money from some guy.
What guy?
Some guy, I don't know.
A personal loan from a friend.
I didn't ask you.
That's all I know about it, Sligo.
What's your name, you?
Stone, Randy Stone, Chicago Star.
Newspaper reporter. That's fine, Phil. A newspaper, man. Let's bring the whole city in on this deal. What'd he say?
I was scared he knew something, Sligo. I thought that...
Every time you think, I end up in trouble.
You gave me till 4 o'clock.
You got the money now. What's the difference?
Collateral.
What collateral?
He promised the guy he borrowed the money from to give him a note on his house.
Had the mortgage the homestead, eh, Charlie? That's tough.
He said he'd have the note by 3:30 tonight.
Well, that's too bad, Charlie.
You gave me till 4 o'clock.
Do me a big favor, shut up. Phil, give me a cigar.
A cigar, you bet. Here.
Tell me, Stone, what kind of reporter are you? You go out and get the news, or you a fella out to change the world?
A little of both.
Seems to me I read something to you sometime.
That's always nice to hear.
About a man getting sent up for murder. How it was that he got mixed up in it, right? Phil, do me a favor, sit down. Pacing makes me nervous, didn't I tell you?
Oh, sorry.
People in this room, they're the only ones know I'm in town. The only ones in the world. Now, when information like this gets out, like through a mouthy slob like Charlie here, I can get in lots of trouble.
Must be a big payoff, Sligo.
Good enough. A thing like this record, I don't let get away so easy.
I get your point.
You like to gamble, Mr. Stone. You think it's naughty, huh?
Well, gambling? I don't know.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something, Mr. Stone. Gambling is a good way to get out your hate. That's why people gamble, not to get rich. You gamble your money, it's like a knife. And you gamble, can I stick that knife in that fellow, or will he stick his knife in me, huh?
Sligo, listen.
Shut up. You're an onion head. I'm talking with a man got some sense. You sit there, you listen, try to learn something on your head. Stone, what I say, that's right, huh?
There's some truth in it.
Yeah, you bet. I'll tell you something else, Stone. Everybody gambles. Everybody. You step down off a curb, you gamble. You bet your life. That's what you do. Every time you step off a curb, you say, I bet my life a car don't come along and hit me. That's gambling, huh? Ain't it, Stone?
That's gambling.
Okay, Charlie, let's have the money. Here, Phil. Count it later. I don't think Charlie's a double-crosser. He hasn't got the nerve. Phil, put it away.
Yeah, all right.
Phil, not naked. Put it in an envelope. I told you to bring an envelope.
I got it.
What time is it, Phil?
3:40 about.
Not about. What time?
3:38.
Let's get out of here.
Like to take a little bet of mine, Sligo?
You got a bet? Sure. What kind of bet?
I'll bet you Charlie and I never lived to walk out of here.
You're a pretty smart fella, Stone. I like smart fellas. Sorry, gotta be that way. I can't let you blabber now, can I?
That wouldn't be safe.
That's right. Wouldn't be safe.
Just how big a gambler are you?
I've been at it a lot of years.
Gambling? Big boys like you don't gamble.
Not unless it's for big stakes. Big enough to enjoy.
What's the biggest lose you ever took, Sligo?
100,000, one roll of the dice.
Peanuts.
100,000, that's peanuts, huh?
I'll bet you more than that.
More than 100,000?
I'll bet you our lives.
Your lives, huh?
Come on, Sligo, let's get out of here.
Shut up, Phil. Go on, make your proposition, Stone.
One hand of draw poker.
For your life.
For my life and Charlie's. There's a gamble for you, Sligo. Or are you strictly a sure thing better?
A gamble is a gamble, Mr. Stone. If I gamble for your life, what do I get out of it? I got your life right now. I don't gamble for what I already got.
One hand of draw poker, Sligo. If you win the kill. If you lose, we get out of here. 100% safe.
It's a crazy bet. I get nothing out of it.
I'll leave $10,000 for you in a checking box at Grand Central Station. Now, that's my bet. That's what you win. $10,000, Sligo. Our lives are worth more than that.
Only to you. Besides, what do you get 10,000?
I'll get it.
If you don't?
You know where to find me.
Come on, Sligo.
Shut up, Phil.
The stakes too high for you?
It's a lousy bet. I'll take it.
Let's not kid around, Sligo.
I told you to shut up, didn't I? You gotta pardon him, Stone. He's no gambler. You and me, we got gambling in the blood, huh? Charlie, what about you? You like the deal?
What do you say, Charlie?
Look at him. He can't say a word. Scared, eh, Charlie? You scared? Phil, the cards.
Sorry.
Sorry? What do you mean, sorry?
Not your cards, not my cards. A new deck.
Who buys the deck?
I do.
Get the cops, maybe? No soap, Stone. I thought there was some...
Phil can come with me. There's a counter open in the lobby.
Phil, go with him.
I don't like it.
Don't have to like it. Go with him. I'll be waiting for you, Stone.
Come on, Phil. Phil and I went downstairs. I walked slowly, using up the seconds. We bought a deck of cards. I put them in my pocket. And Phil and I went back upstairs. I looked at my watch. 3:55. When we walked into the room, there was the night table dragged out in the center of the room. 2 chairs on each side. Charlie was sitting in the corner, his face white and the sweat pouring down the flesh of his throat. Sligo was all smiles. He was having the time of his life. We sat down. I put the unopened pack of cards on the table right in the middle. Sligo picked it up, turned it slowly around in his hand, and then he put it down again. And he nodded. The game was on. One hand, draw poker. The stakes, our lives.
You open the pack, Stone. I trust you.
Thanks.
Nice and shiny, huh, Phil?
I don't like it.
That's because you're stupid. cut for deal, Stone.
Cut for deal.
You first.
After you.
Okay. Queen.
Pretty good.
Your turn.
All right. 10, your deal.
No, please, no.
Shut them up.
Yeah.
No, hold it. Let him watch. If he makes too much noise, give it to him, but good. But I like when he watches.
Deal.
A 5-card draw, that's what you said.
5-card draw, that's right.
Fine. Looks funny, no money on the table.
It's a nice pot.
Phil, put 10,000 in the middle of the table. Looks good there.
Right.
How many, Stone?
3.
3? Got a pair, huh?
Maybe.
You got a pair.
Shut up, punk.
Let him alone, Phil. Let him cry.
3 cards, Sligo.
3 cards. I'll take 1. Okay, Stone. What do you got?
You first, Sligo.
I called you.
You first.
The rules of the game.
Let's see him, Sligo.
Queens over 10s.
That's pretty good.
Come on, Stone. Let's see that hand.
Okay. 3, 10, ace. Ace.
Put up your hands, Sligo.
Cops, you dirty double cross.
You gotta get out of here.
Stay where you are.
Our lives against yours, Sligo. It was a fair bet.
Fair bet, yeah. Let's see that card.
But the last card? Sure.
Ace of diamonds.
3 aces, Sligo. Beats 2 pair anytime. Yeah, Joe Sligo, gambler, got fat on his own odds. The cards were always stacked, and the wheel always favored the house. But when he played a straight hand of draw poker for human life, Joe Sligo just didn't have enough aces. That's because he forgot that luck and rackets don't jibe. When you're betting murder against the chair, you're up against the United States population. And you know what those odds are. 150 million to 1. Copy, boy.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy, is produced and directed by Warren Lewis. Tonight's story was written by David Ellis with music by Robert Armbruster. Featured in tonight's cast were Shep Menken, Jeff Corey, Hal March, and Don Diamond. Don Rickles speaking. Listen next week at this time and every week as Randy Stone searches through the city for the strange stories waiting for him in the darkness. Night Beat came to you from Hollywood.